Hello everyone, welcome to African Tech Gurus. Your number one channel where learning is by doing, and here we do together. If you are new to this channel, please do us a favor by clicking on the subscribe button, and remember, turn on notifications so that you can be notified next time that we post a new content. Welcome and see what awaits us for today. So today we are doing 0x03 shell init files, variables, and expansion. So this is what we'll be covering today, and this particular content for today, I will be talking on the content review, trying to make you understand what each and every concept in this particular assignment is all about. Okay, this one we are not doing the assignment, but we are trying to understand each and every concept that we will be required to have an idea about it before we begin our assignment. So when you go down here, we will see about bash objects, projects, and let's say it will be auto-corrected using the Ubuntu version 20.04. So, and then you come down here, you see some of the resources that you are required to read or watch. Remember, some of them might be videos, others might be documents or links to a particular website that give you explanation of a particular concept. So, this is what the assignment required us to read. That is expansion, arithmetic, shell arithmetic, variables, shell initialization files, the alias command, technical writing. So these are what resources you're supposed to read and try to understand something out of it. Yes, you may not have understand everything in it, but just have a clue of what you are required to do, because in your assignment you are supposed to apply what have you understood from the reading. You are therefore required to apply them in solving the assignment or the task. So let's see. When you go down here, you will see some of the man or help. That is, we have the printf, we have set and set, export, alias and alias. We have a dot. What does dot mean? You will see that. Source printf. So, and then what is an all learning objective? Our learning objective is that at the end of this project, or at the end of this reading, someone will be able to explain to someone else. You'll be able to explain to your friend what you have learned without the help of Google. I know that we don't need the other when we are learning. We need all the necessary resources that will allow us to be able to read. And in this case, we can go to Google, we can clear a particular concept. We can go maybe even to books and try to read the concept we are trying to learn. So at the end of the day, at the end of this particular task, we have to be able to explain to someone, what have you learned? What can you say that this is what I have understood out of this concept? Then general, we are able to understand, what does this one mean? Okay, what happens when we type that one? What are etc profile and etc profile.d directory? What is this one? And then what's the difference between local and global variable, and all these others. I may not be able to go each one of them, but I will go through each of them as we try to understand using the resources that we have already been given. So allow me to open some of the resources. Yes, we may not go all of them, especially this last one, technical writing. I will not go into that because it's all about writing, how you're able to write a blog, a good blog. Yes, and then let me just begin. Sorry for that. Yes, so let me begin by talking about opening shell expansion. When we open shell expansion, you will see that this is what we have. There are things that we need to understand out of this. When we write on our shell or web terminal and say echo, this is a test. What it does, it doesn't do anything extraordinary. It doesn't do anything that is so different from what you know. It just gives you the same line. This is a test. So nothing happens, nothing extra than that. It only prints what you ask. It cannot print echo because echo is a command. Echo is a shell built-in that performs what? A very simple task, that it prints out a text argument on the standard output, which means that on the shell console. Let me say so. So, and then we come to the second one, that is echo, and then there's an asterisk here. If we are to go with the first one, that is echo, this is a test, then we might have said that we are expecting to see an asterisk being printed out on our standard output. But in this case, that is not the case. This now, at this point, things changes. There's a different way. You see a different result. You're expecting to see it, an asterisk being printed out on the console. But no, what is being printed out? Desktop, document, ls, output, music, pictures, and all these other ones. What can you understand out of this? It means that what I am getting is that this one means something different from what I know. It doesn't mean just printing out asterisk, but it means something different, which I want us to learn, and this is what I call it expansion. So what happened is that we did not echo an asterisk, we call for work with wildcards, which means that it will go to that current working directory which you are in, and then what it does is that it will list all the files or directories that are within that working directory and list for you. It means that it's able to give all of it. I give an example of, I have a box of oranges. I have a box of oranges that, okay, I have a box that contains oranges, it contains bananas, it contains mangoes, and I say echo asterisk, meaning that echo all. Tell me what is in that box. Then my shell standard output will give me, oh, you have fruits, which include, you have bananas, you have mangoes, you have oranges, and all those others. And inside that particular box, I have a small box which I have my, let's say, my money. For example, if I sell a product, or if I sell a fruit, I keep some money in my bag. So that bag is inside that particular box also. So it means that in that box, I have another bag in it, and I have some fruits which include oranges, bananas, mangoes. So that particular box contains another bag and also contains fruits. So what do I say? Echo all. It means that give me everything in that box. Tell me what is in that box. So that is what we call expansion, meaning that it uses this one to expand and understand that I'm asking for a bag in it and also the fruits inside that particular box. I believe after that point, all of us, we are understood, and if not, feel free to pause and try to understand what I've just explained. Let's go down here, talk about the expansion in part name. So the mechanism which wildcards work is called a part name expansion. When I use ls, what we know is that it lists files. It lists files, able to give me what files and directories do I have within my working directory. So we could carry out the following expansion. So this one, what does this one means? Echo capital D asterisk. Remember, asterisk we say all. Whenever we see asterisk, we be like, okay, this one means that I know this. It means all. So when I say echo capital D all, it means that I am saying give me the list of all files which begin with an uppercase D. Remember, at the top here we list all files. So we have documents, desktop, okay, desktop documents, ls, output, music, pictures, public, template, and videos. But when you say only those begin with an uppercase D, it will give us only desktop and the documents. I believe you understood that. Now let's come to this other one. It says echo asterisk S. What does this mean? Remember, asterisk means all. What we are understanding? Oh, asterisk means all. Okay. Then What does it mean? Asterisk then S. It means that list for me all files which end with S. For example, documents, pictures, templates, videos. Remember the first one at the top here, we had all these files. There is this one which doesn't end with S. There is which one? This one doesn't end with S. So we are not expecting to see this one. This one doesn't end with X. So when you go down here, you will see only you will see documents, pictures, templates, and videos. Understood? Yes. Let's go down here. Let's see this one, echo this one, and then bracket, that is square bracket, and then we have asterisk. Remember, asterisk means all. Then what is in that particular bracket? It's a upper. Okay, if it is upper, then what's all about this upper? It is telling us list all files that begin with an uppercase character. So it can be uppercase D, it can be uppercase M, it can be uppercase P, it can be uppercase T, or uppercase V. It doesn't matter which character it is, in as much as it is uppercase, well and good. Yes, so let's continue. Now I believe that far you have understood what you are seeing. From the original files we had ls, something like that. It never began with a capital letter. So that is why we are not able to have it here. Because of what? It never began with an uppercase letter. And we are saying just print for me all of them which begin with an uppercase letter. Good. Let's go to next thing and say looking beyond our home directory. If I say echo /user /*/ so asterisk, remember we say what it means? It means all. I believe this point you're able to get what I'm saying. If not, kindly pause and try to understand what I'm trying to say. Try on your end and see if it works. I'm sorry that at this point I may not be able to show you practically that is how it works, but I promise in the next time I will show you how it works. Yes, so this one, echo user /* share. What does it do? It means that echo all files and directories which has share. Okay, in the user that has a share, which means can be user local share, user kbros share, user another name share. All of them that has a share as a subdirectory or a file. Okay, let's come to this one, which I may not do. This one means name the user. If the user is that is beginning the name of the home directory of the name user, home directory of the name user. Then that one. Let's also talk about what we call arithmetic expansion. What is arithmetic expansion? There is a way it is very possible. I can tell you that we're able to do even also calculation on our shell. It's not all about writing string. It's not all about writing echo hello world. It's not all about writing echo how are you, but it's also about you are able to make some calculation. So how can this? So whenever this is encountered, it's able to tell a shell that whatever calculate what is inside that particular brackets or expression. So for that case, it explains that we have this one, and then what is inside here, calculate. Allow the shell to prompt as a calculator. So this allows you to use shell prompt as a calculator. Whenever you see this, it will prompt you as calculator. So where is an arithmetic expression consists of values and arithmetic operators? What are arithmetic operators, if I may ask you? Arithmetic operators as example like plus sign, subtraction sign, multiplication sign, division sign, exponential sign, and among many others, which I may not be able to list all of them here. But I believe in your mathematics, you might have learned somewhere about the arithmetic operators, and you can bear me witness that What I've said or what I've just indicated is what are examples of arithmetic operators. So what will happen if I say this one? It means that what is inside first is calculated here. That is double, like this one up to this one. Yes, it is calculated this one, because remember this one only calculate this one. That is 5 exponential 2, that is 25. Exponential means it's like say 5 raised to 2. So 5 exponential 2, and then now if I have achieved 5 exponential 2, which is equal to 25, now calculate now 25 multiplied by 3, which in this case it is being prompted by this. And what is the answer? 75. I will not do all these other calculations, and I believe you're able to go through them and understand, because like for example, equal 5 divided by 2 equals to, this one is prompted to do calculation, and what is the calculation being done? It is 5 divided by 2. Let's talk about the brace expansion, that is the bracket. For example, equal front, there in bracket a comma b comma c. What we'll do is that it will copy each one of them and use where necessary. For example, if I say front like that, never do anything like back, say front and then into bracket this one, it will only say front A, front B, front C, and all those. It will be able to expand. It's like I'm telling this one, expand this what is inside here and add to what I have outside here. Okay, let's add to this one for numbers. It's a echo number 1 dot dot 5. It means that echo 1 to 5. But whatever, if you echo 1 join together with the number, that is number 1. We echo 2 and join with the number, it will be number 2. Echo 3, the same. Even if I don't print number like this and I say 1 and then dot dot up to 5, it means that it will only print for me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It means I'm giving the limits, that is from 1 up to 5. So it will print for me. What about if I say print for me A capital and Z capital? What it do is that it will be able to print for me the capital letters from A to Z. When you see in the lower side, it say this one here, Z to A. It means that it's printing alphabet in a reverse order, meaning that A, B, C, D to Z, but in a reverse order, meaning that you are beginning with Z. So that is how it do. You will give dot dot billy like 2 of them, meaning that it's able to give in that particular trend. The same case to this one applies. I may not be able to explain all of them. Then also let's come here, see something interesting here. Here is what you call photos. I love photos. Yeah. Okay, let's see cd photos, meaning change your working directory into photos. I made a directory here and I say change your working directory into photos. Then what do? Make a directory. What's the directory? A directory shall be 2017 dot dot 2019 and then dash 01 dash dash dot dot 12, meaning that print from 2017 January to 2017 December to 2018 January to 2018 December to 2019 January to 2019 December. It's 3 years, both in January, February, March up to December. Each and every year to have all the 12 months. So it's that 2017 first month, second month, third, fourth, and all those up to 12. So this is the end of 2017. This one marks the end of 2017 here, and then you begin 2018. Here marks the end of 2018, and then you have 2019. Here marks the end of 2019. So I have printed all directories, but I printed them in the order I need. I am printing directories like this from 2017 January up to 2019 December. Print for me in the consistency of months. Let's talk about parameter expansion. This one talk about the user. What it does is that user contain the username. It invokes parameter expansion and reveal the content of user to content of the user. Okay, the same case to this one. I may not be able to all go through this. Let's talk about the substitution that allow us to use the output of the command as an expansion. Okay, I'm not doing all this. Allow me to just rush because I'm saying that unless I do escaping characters, which I believe that you did in the previous lesson by my colleague when she was explaining to you about how you're able to escape using escape characters. When you have this one to escape, this one means that this character is escape, and then we use double quotes to escape a single quote. Yeah, I don't think I need to talk much about that. Yes, there's also reverse. You can try that. Then escape characters, you have this one: new line, tab, alert, backslash, form feed. But you can have a look at this one also. This is not so that hard, but you can have a look at it. Okay, let's check what next. Shell arithmetic. Shell arithmetic is much basically on the arithmetic operators and some of the increment and period decrement. There is increment. There is what you call the post increment and post decrement. So a variable post increment and post decrement. Okay, we'll get to understand what it is all this. Where does increment happens? Does it happen after the variable, after initializing it, or after manipulating it? We'll come to learn about that. But allow me to just go through it and say this is there is post increment, and this is post increment and post decrement, and then we have pre increment and pre decrement. I'm just taking you through the some of these arithmetic operators and the logical operators. Yes, I'm not talking much about this. Allow me to go to the next one, which is called variables. Variables. What are variables? If I may ask you, what is variables? Variables is what I refer as a memory location, or as, let me call it a container. I will call it a container. And in this case, if I say a container, I will revert back to what I said earlier. And I say that I have a box. In this box, I have a small bag in it. In this box, I have a fruits which contain bananas, mango, oranges, among many other fruits. And in that box also, I have another. Yes, remember I said that variable are just but containers. So I have a container called, let's say a container containing my fruits. So my box, I call it box Y. Inside box Y, it contains my fruits, bananas, oranges, mangoes, among many other fruits, which I might not have mentioned. So my box Y contains all those fruits. So box Y becomes the variable. And what is the value? The value becomes the fruits that I have inside that particular box. I have bananas. I like bananas. So I have bananas inside that particular box. So in my variable, I have that particular value. That's what I call variable. There are types of variable, and in this case, we will concentrate much on local variable and global variable. So what is a local variable? What's a global variable? A global variable or environment variable are available in the shells. For example, the env and the print env command can be used to display environment variables. This program comes with a shutils package. So for example here, if you type this one in your web terminal, okay, I will recommend if you have the Ubuntu environment in your machine, it will be fine. If you try print env, that is print environment, it will give you some of the variables that you have within the shell, as you can see. Okay, I may not go through that. Then let's talk about local variable. What are local variables? Okay, global variables are what you have seen there. Then what are local variables? Are only available in the current shell. They are set built-in command without any option. Will display a list of variables including environment variables and function. The output will be sorted according to the current local and display in the reusable format. Okay, that is now a local variable. Remember the difference is only remember that it only available within the current shell. What about the global? Global variable available in all shell. Available in all shell. I believe you are able to notice the difference. This is variables are available in all shells, while in the other one you notice that only variables are available in the current shell. Yes, so that's the difference. A local variable available only within the current shell, while in the global variables are available in all shell. It may say so. Then let's now try to classify variable by the content in which they hold or by the content in which they store. If I can say that I have a box of fruits, as I said, and I have another box which contains my biscuits. I have another box which contains some juice. So what each and every box holds determine how it will be named or how the type of variable will be. Number one, we have the string variables. The string variables, for the string variables, what we can say is that these are type of variable that hold strings. Let me put like that. We have the integer variable holding an integer value. We have a constant variable that all constant variable or constant data or values that cannot be altered. They talk about arrays. That is, it contains subspaces. For example, if I say that my box contains fruits, so it means that fruits, let's believe fruits is in one corner, oranges is another corner, bananas in the other corner, mangoes other corner. So each and every type of fruit is arranged in a particular order. Like it has its own place where it is stored. So that is an array. I'm arranging them in a particular order. How do we create variables? That's a question. How do we create variables? We create variables by writing the variable name, that is var name, and the value. Allow me to use this one. If I say, okay, it is not working, I'm just giving you how the syntax works. For example, if I say export, not export, it is var name, like that, var name. So that is the variable name, and then is equals to the value. What's the value of the variable name? I call it banana. Yes, like that. So a variable name, and I call it banana. So okay, let me say I want to use like that. Let me say value. Say value. And then I will say now variable name. In this case, I'll say let me call it my favorite. Okay, I'm not following any rules for writing variable. Yeah? Just forgive me for that. My favorite fruit, like that. And then is equals to, what's my favorite fruit? I will say my favorite fruit is banana, like that. So I have created a variable in shell, and my variable name is my favorite fruit, and what is the value? Is banana. So that's how to create variables. You create a variable name and then you give a value. How do we export variables? We export variable by just using export and then the variable name, which in this case it is this way. It is that way, like that. So this one is the variable, the export, and then you give in the variable name. Okay, these reserved variables, we will go about it. I may not go all of them. Time is far much gone. Let me not go through all of them, but try as much as you can to go through them. And in case of any query, please feel free to ask on the chat below. and we will try as much as we can to answer your question. Okay, let's go back to here. What is remaining? Shell initialization files. I mean, I will not go through all of this, but I will just explain what is required here. I will explain this one. There's something here you have been asked about, this profile and this one and this one. So I will just explain, and then so my explanation, I will say that /etc/profile and etc/profile.d directory are both part of the system-wide initialization script used in Linux and other Unix operating systems. So if I talk about the etc profile file, is a shell script that executed whenever user logs into the system. It sets environment variables and also create the shell functions that are needed by all users. That is etc profile. Let's also talk about etc profile/profile.d is a directory. Remember that one, the first one was a file, a shell script that executes whenever user logs into the system. But this other one is a directory that contains shell scripts that are executed by etc/profile. So this one is now a directory that contains the scripts that are executed by etc/profile. So etc/profile, remember we say that they are shell script that is executed whenever user logs in. But where are these particular script contained, or they are being stored? They are being stored in etc/profile.d or directory. It contains the files, it contains the scripts that are executed by the profile. Each script is a directory, is executed in alphabetical order. So in summary, what I can say about this one is that etc profile and etc profile directory provide a way set system-wide environment variable and perform other initialization tasks for all users on the system. Then what about etc, this one, etc, okay, not etc, I'm sorry, this one, and then /bashrc file. So it's a file shell script that is executed by bash shell for all users and whenever they start a new interactive shell session. So the file is typically used to set a system-wide shell option, alias, and the function for bash. Yes, let me not talk much about that, and let me go back and talk about something called alias. Here I see something here, which this one marks the end of. I remember I said that the last one I will not cover, but this one marks the end of this. I will explain this one in simple terms in shortest time possible, and say that I can give alias as a way of, can I say nickname? Let me call it a nickname. For example, if my name is African Tech Gurus, if that is my name, I can just say I am Africana. So I can just say Africana to mean African Tech Gurus. That's what alias means. Instead of, I believe that all of us will know how to list all files in the current working directory. So instead of writing, okay, let me give an example if you don't know. The ls. ls is used to list all files and directories within your current working directory. So what I mean is that instead of writing ls every other time, I'll just create alias, and I give, what do I want to give? The name and the value. So let me give an example here. Alias p and then is equal to pwd. So what I will do is that I will say, for example, if I want to create for the list file, I will say, okay, let me create it here. For example, if I want to create alias for list all file, listing files and directories, like that. So what will I use? Allow me to say alias, like that, space, and then I say L is equals to pwd, like that, pwd, like that. What does it mean? And then I press enter. This means that next time if I want to check my current working directory, I will not be writing pwd every time. So if I come, assuming that this is my shell, assuming this is my shell, copy, let me copy it here, let me have it here. Assuming that this is my shell, African Tech Gurus at Tech, like this, and I want to do what I want to do next. I want to check my current working directory. Instead of writing pwd and press enter, in this case, since I have created an alias, I will just say L and click enter, and it will print for me the same result which I will have received if I had used pwd. I believe after this file you have understood what alias means. I'm creating a shortcut of it. Instead of writing the all kind of command, maybe different combination of commands, piping, maybe I'm piping a command to another one, all those. Instead of writing all those, I can just use one single character to represent all of them. So that's what alias entails. So what are some of the uses for alias? What are some of the uses of alias? One, reducing the amount of typing necessary for command. If you are this kind of a person who is so lazy in okay, maybe because lazy, but you are not this good in typing a lot of long line of codes. I'm sorry for calling you lazy. Yeah? You're not lazy. I'm saying you are just this kind of a person. You are not used to typing long code. So what happened is that it reduced the amount of typing that necessary for group of commands. So just write a lot of commands and then you use one letter, so that next time you'll come just can press one letter and the entire command is executed. So the second one is a second type of alias is specifying the default version of the program that exists in several versions in the system and specifying default option. Third one is alias correcting common misspelling. You are this kind of a person. Sometimes, okay, what I always say is that in as much as you write a long number of commands, at one point you'll make an error. And to avoid this, maybe you can, and you are so much, assuming that you are okay, you don't have that a lot of things which are held up, that are you making you committed. You can try and create your own alias so that next time you will not be writing a long commands, but just using some simple commands. The fourth one is that increasing the safety of the system by making commands interactive. It creates the safety. And then the last one is alias is returned as the name of the command across all the multiple operating system. How do we remove alias? We use an alias. For example, an alias rm. For example, if we don't want, assuming that you don't want any more L, you want to an alias, we want to remove that alias. Remember we say alias is to make it a shortcut. We want to remove that particular kind of shortcut. We will say an alias and then we say L and then you press enter. So this means that even if I come here and type L, it will not do what we expect it to do. So instead I will have to do pwd. I believe you understood now alias. Yes, I believe you have understood alias. Let me go back and do the last thing. I say this one. Remind me, okay, I haven't done this. And I will want to finish by this, explaining what happens when you type this one. I believe maybe you have tried to type this one on your shell and you have seen what has happened. But let me assume that all of us, we are yet to know. So what will happen? Let me explain to you. What will happen is that this command is that that is, as you see, we have this $ls dash l, then this one asterisk. Remember asterisk is all, and then we have .txt. Okay, Let's try and understand what could this mean. Remember, we are trying to see how it will work. Okay. So what it does is that it lists all files in the current working directory with a or with .txt file extension. It will look and do a research and find all files which has .txt. Remember, asterisk is all, but .txt means that it will look for all files that end with .txt file extension. So when you talk about each and every part, when you see that dollar sign, this dollar sign here, it indicates the start of the command in the bash shell. It indicates the start of the command. Even if you see in my end here, if I use this one, you see this one, it shows, it indicates the start of the command in the bash shell. Then we have ls. Ls, remember we say that it's for listing all files. So what does it do? It commands you to list the content of the directory, which is either files or directories inside that particular working directory. And then we have this dash L. What does it do? A command option that specifies the content of the directory in a long format. It lists in a long format, which indicates who is the author of that particular file, when was it created, yes, and all the permission required. And then we have asterisk .txt. Asterisk is all, and then .txt. So it means that a file grouping pattern that merges all files in the current directory have .txt file extension. So remember, what all these things happen is that it will be able to list for you all the files in a long format, and these files should be files that end with .txt file extension. Okay, this is what I wanted to cover specifically. I believe you have get to understand something out of it, even as we try to go and do assignment. What I can say is that we will be able to do it in a smooth way. Like, it will not be that hard, because at least you have understood something about this concept for today. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for listening to me. I have tried as much as I can to explain, and I believe you have understood something. See you next time in the next content. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click on the notification button so that you will be notified next time when we post a new content. Also remember, there is a task there's a task video. We have created a video for you on the task. We are solving the task and also the quiz that is after this particular content. Remember, click on the next video that is in this playlist, and you will see the task, how you're able to solve the task. Bye bye. See you next time.